Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is December 1st, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see that low cloud activity here into the San Joaquin, Sacramento Valley. You could be running into some lower visibilities in that, but this is mainly just kind of a lower deck out there. But we could be getting a bit more foggy here over the next couple days. I'll show you some of that here more in a moment. You can see some of that towards the Bay Area as well, and some of the interior valleys, but not along the central coast. Looks pretty good. Southern California also fairly nice. And you can see on the GOES 18 satellite imagery, the snow across some of the higher terrain of the Sierra Nevada, and there's Mount Shasta off to the north. So taking a look here, if you guys want to get somebody a nice Christmas gift, I highly recommend this weather station. You can detach it here and mount it onto a fence post. You can purchase this pole separately and mount it however you like. You'll have it up and running in just a few minutes. It's all wireless, solar powered, no moving parts. Very fun weather station. Again, highly recommended, and click on the link down below to save 10% off. So looking at this morning, you can kind of see the outline, but again, visibilities are not too bad this morning, but they may get a bit worse tomorrow morning. You can kind of see that up towards Sacramento, maybe Modesto, Fresno, and back down into the San Joaquin Valley, some lower visibilities tomorrow morning. And then as we go on in through Wednesday morning, a little bit here as well. You see some of that marine layer right along some of the immediate coastline there also, but not too bad. And king tides up and down the coastline here. So check this out. Pause it if you need to, or check the Eureka National Weather Service, or just Google tides or king tides and check it out. And we're going to have some wave action here as well. I'll show you some of that here starting right now. High sneaker wave risk. This goes from this morning here on into tomorrow morning. You can see some of this long swell will cause surge unexpectedly high up onto the beach. Watch out for the sneaker waves. Watch the beach for a few minutes when you go out there. Don't turn your back on the ocean. Don't bring kids and pets in the surf zone unless you know how to get out of there in a moment's notice. And again, hazardous beach conditions all the way to the Bay Area down through Monterey Bay, and there's some high surf advisory out for some portions as well. And coastal flood advisory. If I click on that, you can kind of see these sneaker waves, breaking waves 10 to 14 feet, and some low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways might get some coastal flooding here. You can see that along San Francisco and Monterey Bay. And here's Southern California. We do have a wind advisory up. There's even some freeze watches that blew out there. And again, we do have some high surf advisories out there. If I click on that wind advisory, you'll see gusts to 50 miles per hour, Santa Susana Mountains, western San Gabriel Mountains in the Highway 14 corridor. This goes on through 3 p.m. this afternoon. I'll show you these winds starting right now, but at 925 millibars. It's a little bit off the surface. You can see the north flow here across some of the Sacramento Valley, northeast winds across the Sierra Nevada, and there's this gusty winds here across portions of some Southern California, and also San Bernardino, Imperial, Riverside County getting some of these north winds also. So we're scrolling through the day today. You can see these winds probably peaking here shortly over the next few hours, and then we keep this offshore flow going a bit here. We go on into Tuesday. You can see winds have lightened up as we go through tomorrow morning, but as we go on into this upcoming week, we're going to kick those winds, kind of switch things up a little bit, bring those westerly across some of the peninsular range. But then as we go on in towards this Wednesday, you can see we kind of kick things back offshore and bring it back out of the north and then northeast again across some of the Sacramento Valley. And again, could be gusty at times as we go through Wednesday night and on in through Thursday. Nothing too extreme, but you'll notice that if you're going through some of the passes out there and some of the canyons and whatnot. And then we'll scroll off into the future a little bit more. We go on into Friday, still some offshore wind, but again, nothing too extreme, not a huge major wind event. And if I scroll out through 6 days, you can see some gusts maybe in towards the 30s and 40s and maybe a bit higher across some of the Sierra Nevada, but again, not that big a deal. Now, looking at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet, we're looking at wind speeds here. This is the European Artificial Intelligence model. The Hawaiian Islands are to the bottom left, of course, the Pacific Ocean here, and there is the state of California. So we put this into motion, and this is the system we had been watching, but it looks like it's going to stay far enough inland where it's not going to bring much of any precipitation across much of the state of California. So that trough swings through. We take a look at our ridge still kind of dominating our weather here, perhaps some offshore flow, as I mentioned, at times. And then we take a look at the storm track kind of pointed at the Pacific Northwest, and it finally starts to break down. We may get some active weather as we go through the following week, and this is all the way up first December 12th. So this is still a ways out there. We'll have to watch and see what the models show on that system here. So we're going to get a bit of a break here. And if we look at the artificial intelligence, there goes that system right there. You see it maybe kicking off a stray shower or two across some of the higher terrain. Better precipitation chances for Utah, portions of Colorado, Wyoming, as that Arctic air kind of slides well off to the east. And then we look at that storm track back into the Pacific Northwest. No precipitation in the short range here for California otherwise. And then that storm system tries to swing through there. But this is, 280 hours out in the forecast. You don't want to get into those details just yet. And the European, which showed a fairly dynamic event, has really backed off in this as well. It doesn't really show any precipitation across the state of California as that system slides off to our east. Now, total precipitation in inches over the next 6 days, you can see much of the state of California not getting anything at all for that one. We'll continue to watch things. Things can still change, and maybe that track will change at the last minute with that storm system. But right now, it does not look wet at all. Now, daily 2-meter max temperatures. This is today, again, Monday, December 1st. First day of meteorological winter is upon us, but it doesn't feel like it across some of Southern California. You can see some low 70s, some mid 70s out there for some of the desert areas. You see that that cloud deck out there across the San Joaquin and the Sacramento Valley. It kind of keeps these temperatures really suppressed, only getting into the low 50s, maybe some mid 50s out there, and definitely warmer across some of the Central Coast and some of Southern California here as well. Now we'll scroll through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So not bad out there. Some areas, especially Southern California, some really nice weather coming up here, as long as you're not getting too much of that gusty wind action, which shouldn't be too strong, as I showed you. Here's the 6 to 10 day. This kind of makes sense here with the storm track pointed to our north and that below normal signal here across the southwest USA, which does include portions of California. And maybe we'll get clipped Northern California as we go through this time period. No promises there. And then the above normal signal here as we go through December 10th as well. Check out the Patreon page. Hope you guys are having a good day otherwise. And I will catch you in the next forecast.